If the word herring immediately makes you think of those infamous fermented cans, that's completely understandable. There are simply too many challenge videos of people opening them the wrong way. But herring is far more important than its smelly reputation suggests, both to the ocean and to humans. And there are plenty of bold ways to eat it beyond the notorious Swedish cans. In Sitka, a town in southeast Alaska, sitting among a cluster of islands, the Indigenous people have long lived by the sea. Every spring, usually around late March, they follow a special tradition. They cut down small trees along the shore, drag the branches onto boats, and head out along the coastline. They look for places crowded with seabirds, then sink the branches by tying stones to them and mark the spot. A few days later, they return and haul the branches back up. The branches are now densely covered with sticky, whitish-yellow clusters, herring eggs, or roe. The boats bring the laden branches back to town, where people of all ages wait at the dock. Everyone receives a share for free. Older residents who cannot come are delivered their portion at home. Fresh eggs can be eaten raw right off the branch. Any surplus is dried, salted, or frozen and keeps for up to a year. When ready to eat, the branch and eggs are briefly dipped in boiling water and seasoned with soy sauce, vinegar, or pepper salt. For the people of Sitka, harvesting herring eggs is simply another form of fishing, part of their regular catch. Some might worry that taking the eggs is like cutting off the next generation. But Pacific herring, known in Japanese as Harutsuge Uo, the fish that announces spring, only come near shore to spawn. Sitka is one of their most important spawning grounds. When whales, seals, sea lions, and seabirds suddenly increase near the coast in March or April, the herring have returned. The males release so much milt that the shallow water turns milky white for kilometers. The sticky eggs attach to kelp, seagrass, or conveniently placed spruce branches. Even after birds and humans take their share, vast numbers remain. A single female lays 20,000 to 40,000 eggs the size of sand grains. Dense areas can hold 6 million eggs per square meter. These white shorelines can stretch more than 10 kilometers. According to local legend, the entire Sitka coastline once turned white. Unlike some fish that die after spawning, herring return year after year. Collecting a portion of the eggs is more like gathering eggs from a chicken farm than wiping out a population. Part of the eggs hatch into the next generation, part become food. It is a model of sustainable harvesting that modern fisheries still aspire to. After the harvest, the community holds a small ceremony of thanks to the herring. Far across the ocean, in the Dutch coastal town of Beerfleet, a statue stands in the square. A man holding a fish in one hand and a knife in the other. The man is William Buckle, a 14th century fisherman now regarded as a national hero. At the time, herring was a vital European food, and the Atlantic seemed inexhaustible. The problem was preservation. Catches often spoiled before ships could return to port. Bugles invented a lightning-fast gutting technique. One precise cut removed the gills and esophagus while leaving the pancreas intact. When the fish were later salted, enzymes from the pancreas both improved the flavor and helped preservation. Dutch ships could now process huge quantities of herring that stayed edible for long periods and traveled well for export. The Netherlands quickly dominated the trade. Amsterdam was said to be built on herringbones, and the Dutch Empire's rise began with this humble fish. The Dutch still have a signature way of eating fresh herring. In the seaside town of Scheveningen, a statue demonstrates the proper method. Hold the fish by the tail, tilt your head back, and swallow it in one go. Modern preparation is even more refined. The head, guts, and bones are removed, leaving only the tail as a convenient handle. Using a knife and fork is considered improper. The correct style is bold and direct. Then there is the version no one can eat boldly: Swedish surströmming, the famous fermented herring. It is so pungent that it has given the entire species a bad name. Japanese fermentation researcher Takeo Koizumi measured odor intensity in AU units. Chinese stinky tofu scores 420. Japanese natto, 452. While surströmming reaches an astonishing 8,070. Historically, Swedish fishermen sometimes ran short of salt. The lightly salted fish began to ferment in the barrels. Rather than discard it, some sold the batch cheaply, and a few customers developed a taste for it. Modern cans are often bulging because the fish continues fermenting after sealing, building pressure inside. Opening one requires extreme care. One man was evicted from a rented apartment for opening a can indoors. When he sued, the landlord opened a can in court, and the spray settled the case. In 2014, a warehouse fire involving thousands of fermenting cans produced explosions that lasted 6 hours and left veteran firefighters stunned. Many airlines ban the cans outright, both for pressure and for smell. The correct way to eat surströmming is outdoors, far from the table, with a bucket of water or plastic bag ready to contain the spray. Breathe through your mouth, not your nose. Serve only the fish. Discard the can and liquid. Clean away skin, guts, and bones. Then eat the meat with onions, potatoes, or wrapped in flatbread. The internet challenges that open cans indoors or in cars and fork the contents straight into the mouth are all doing it wrong. In 1981, a Soviet submarine ran aground in Swedish waters, prompting the Navy to intensify patrols. For years, they detected mysterious underwater targets and expended mines and depth charges, yet never scored a hit. Biologists Magnus Wahlberg and colleagues were called in to analyze the recordings. The submarine sounds were actually schools of herring releasing streams of bubbles. The fish gulp air at the surface, then dive and release short bursts of gas about 10 times per second to maintain spacing within the school. The discovery won the 2004 Ig Nobel Prize in Biology and saved Swedish taxpayers a great deal of wasted ammunition. Recordings of these Herring farts have even been played through underwater speakers to attract salmon, which eagerly hunt herring.
In the ocean, humpback whales and orcas are famous rivals that often clash. Yet in Norwegian waters, researchers have filmed both species feeding on the same dense herring schools in apparent harmony. Scientists from the Norwegian Polar Institute observed 59 orca hunts on herring. In 47 of them, humpbacks were also present. The more tightly the herring are packed, the higher the hunting efficiency. In the face of such abundant food, old enmities seem to dissolve. Herring function much like krill. They convert plankton into high-quality protein that larger predators cannot obtain directly. Seals, sea lions, dolphins, salmon, cod, tuna, swordfish, and many others all depend on them. If herring or krill disappeared, it would be like cutting off the ocean's food supply. Many species would starve. Roughly 400 species fall under the broad herring label, including sardines. The two most heavily fished are Pacific herring, mainly turned into fish meal for aquaculture and livestock, and Atlantic herring, primarily for human consumption. The small Baltic subspecies, under 20 centimeters, is the one used for surströmming. Pacific and Atlantic herring grow to about 40 centimeters. In nature, the most efficient consumer is the humpback whale, which can go more than 100 kilograms in a single mouthful and eat over a ton a day. Yet human pair trawling far surpasses even that. 2 vessels tow a huge net that engulfs entire schools. The catch is so massive, it is pumped aboard like a river of fish. Sea lions and dolphins that were hunting the same schools can only watch as hundreds of tons vanish in minutes. Herring, then, is far more than a punchline about a stinking can. It is a keystone of marine food webs, a foundation of historic empires, and the center of living traditions that still link people to the sea.